Trump doubles down on attacks on war hero senator, saying, "I was never a fan and I never will be." Cindy McCain revealed on Tuesday a horrific message sent to her about her late husband and daughter Meghan as President Donald Trump slammed John McCain yet again, this time saying in the Oval Office, "I was never a fan of John McCain and I never will be." The late senator's widow posted a screenshot from Facebook Messenger on her Twitter feed with a note, "I want to make sure all of you can see how kind and loving a stranger can be. I'm posting her note for her family and friends could see." The message from a user named Tiffany Nicole read, "Your husband was a traitorous piece of warmongering and I'm glad he's dead. Piggy-looking daughter chokes to death on the next burger she stuffs down her fat neck, too." See. Her post comes on the fourth day of attacks President Trump has launched against John McCain. Meghan McCain has rallied to her father's defense in a series of posts on Instagram and Twitter, along with an impassioned speech on ABC's The View. Over the weekend the president launched a barrage of tweets against the late senator, which reporters asked him about in the Oval Office Tuesday during a state visit with Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro. Trump cited McCain's 2017 Senate vote that ended GOP efforts to repeal the Affordable Care Act, former President Barack Obama's signature health care law, as the reason for his anger. "I'm very unhappy that he didn't repeal and replace Obamacare, as you know. He campaigned on repealing and replacing Obamacare for years, and then he got to a vote, and he said thumbs down. And our country would have saved $1 trillion and we would have had great health care," Trump said Tuesday. He added that Sen. McCain told us hours before that he was going to repeal and replace before voting the opposite way. "Frankly, had we even known that, I think we would have gotten the vote because we could have gotten somebody else. So I think that's disgraceful, plus there are other things. I was never a fan of John McCain and I never will be," he said. As part of her defensive strategy, Meghan McCain posted on Instagram a photo that showed military honors under her father's name and a bunch of pacifiers under Trump's name. She also retweeted a flood of supporters defending her father and the McCain family. She retweeted a tweet from Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse that read, "There's something deeply troubled in at real Donald Trump constantly trying to belittle John McCain. Deep within, Trump must realize how far better a man John was and will always be." She also retweeted a tweet from Mark Salter, one of McCain's top aides in the Senate who co-wrote several of his books. Salter wrote, "Okay, you aren't a fan. One more in a long list of things you are not. Honest, brave, smart, tough, disciplined, kind, generous, patriotic, a fan of John McCain. Had you been a fan, the senator would have wondered what he had done so wrong that he earned the approval of a man he despised." After Meghan McCain's Instagram post, Trump campaign senior advisor Katrina Pearson fired back with a mocking one of her own, featuring the same image of military honors under McCain's name but the presidential seal under Trump's. Cindy McCain has also retweeted defenders of her late husband. The back and forth between the two camps is now in its fourth day of battle. On Monday, Meghan McCain slammed Trump for having a pathetic life for spending his weekend tweeting criticism of her father. He spends his weekend obsessing over great men, because he knows it, and I know it, and all of you know it, he will never be a great man," McCain said on ABC's The View. "My father was his kryptonite in life. He was his kryptonite in death," she added. McCain, who is a co-host of the ABC program, said when she saw the president's tweets she thought that your life is spent on your weekends not with your family, not with your friends, but obsessing over great men you could never live up to. "That tells you everything you need to know about his pathetic life right now," she added. "I genuinely feel bad for his family. I can't imagine having a father that does this on the weekends." Trump attacked the late senator twice this past weekend on Twitter, focusing on McCain's ties to the infamous Steele dossier that contains the unverified allegations the Russians have blackmail material on the president. "So it was indeed just proven in court papers, last in his class, Annapolis, John McCain that sent the fake dossier to the FBI and media hoping to have it printed before the election. He and the teams, working together, failed, as usual. Even the fake news refused this garbage," the president wrote on Sunday. McCain was actually fifth from the bottom of his class at the Naval Academy. On Saturday, Trump said McCain leaking the dirty dossier was dark stain on his legacy. "Spreading the fake and totally discredited dossier is unfortunately a very dark stain against John McCain," Trump wrote, attributing the quote to Ken Starr, the former independent counsel whose investigation led to Bill Clinton's impeachment. Trump continued, referring to John McCain's vote on the Republican attempt to repeal Obamacare, "He had far worse stains than this, including thumbs down on repeal and replace after years of campaigning to repeal and replace." McCain's no vote on the GOP effort to take down Obama's signature law stopped the effort in its tracks. The president and McCain had a testy relationship when the senator was alive, leading to McCain not inviting Trump to his funeral, where the former presidents Barack Obama and George W. Bush gave the eulogies. In regards to Trump's allegations, there is no evidence that McCain shared the Steele dossier before the election. The late senator did hand-deliver a copy of it to then FBI Director James Comey in December of 2016, after the election, as McCain wrote in his book The Restless Wave. "The allegations were disturbing, but I had no idea which if any were true. I could not independently verify any of it, and so I did what any American who cares about our nation's security should have done," McCain wrote. "I did what duty demanded I do." Meghan McCain also slapped back at the president on Saturday, saying he will never be loved. "No one will ever love you the way they loved my father. I wish I had been given more Saturdays with him. Maybe spend yours with your family instead of on Twitter obsessing over mine," she tweeted on Saturday. On Sunday, Trump retweeted a tweet from a supporter who wrote that millions of Americans truly love President Trump, not McCain. John McCain died at the age of 81 after battling brain cancer. He made explicit his desire that President Trump not attend his funeral. His beef with President Trump dates at least back to the 2016 presidential campaign, when Trump criticized him for being taken prisoner in Vietnam. He's not a war hero, Trump said in July 2015, sarcastically quipping, "He's a war hero because he was captured." Then, he added, "I like people that weren't captured."